Welcome to ISIS in the Bible, the Fall Gathering, Week 6, Spooky. The question for today is, where did Halloween come from? Boy, we got some amazing responses, a lot what you're going to see in our little quick discussion today. This is a short one. When you do a deep dive into the spookiness of this ritual, rather remembrance of what we are about to reveal to ourselves, it is really divine. Although it may not seem that way when we talk about people who left the visible or who leave the visible. I'm glad you could join us today. We are really good at celebrating not the right things, not at the right time. So just a brief mention of what's happening in the sky. A beautiful message from the black moon. I'm not going to talk much about what's happening in the sky, but the black moon aligns with Algorab. And Algorab is the raven, the crow, exposes tricksters, the right wing of the constellation Corvus. So that's an interesting one. I've actually seen a couple crows recently. So Black Moon brings deep spiritual science, and it's in alignment with Virgo, and exposes tricksters. So that's important because that's really happening. Right now, the sun is in Libra. When you look to the sky, it's actually in Libra. So right now, just like Lex said, the harvest is happening. It's the weighing of the heart now. The weighing of the hearts. So that's the sun. That's the sun, you holding the hand of God, Pluto, Anubis, right? And then weighing of the heart. You get weighed, if you pass the weighing of the heart, leading forth the Mazras, here's you up there helping everybody, right? From every different scenario, different 12 different zodiac signs, the sun and the moon, right? And then you have graduation time that we talked about with both Marys if you pass the weighing of the heart. So the sun is going through the weighing of the heart, which is beautiful. We'll get into this, but Samhain or Halloween is when the sun is in Scorpio across from, which we have here, the ear was, stepping on the scorpion. You got to listen. Listen, that veil is thinning. Many people said about the veil thinning. Pay attention to the signs because it's about helping you, helping us. So everybody's giving each other signs. But let's make sure when we give each other signs, they're loving signs. Because when you give people non-loving, the reverse of what they need to learn, then it's just going to come back and it's going to bite you. So make sure they're loving. So where the heck did that beautiful meaning of Samhain go to? Or Dia de los Muertos? We'll talk about it more where it came up from on the Egyptian wall another day as we get closer to the 22nd, the real Samhain. So when you look at Samhain, All Souls, All Saints, Day of the Dead, Halloween, All Hallows, Hallows Mas, Dia de los Muertos. We're going to go quickly through these, just what happened from back from 3000 BCE when the ancient Celts or Samhain or Dia de los Muertos stem from and what happened over time. So we're going to go through this transition in very brief, but it's an eye-opener on how we've lost our way to materialism, and pay attention until the end because things are changing and they're not going to stop. Favorite saying is, the cleansings will continue until the morale improves. Have you ever noticed, and Lex, this is for you because I never noticed before, the word cleansing is clean and sing. Every atom in our body is going to have to sing clean. That's like immortal waters, right? We have to sing our immortal waters to have them vibrate with purity. So just talking about the first one, Samhain and Dia de los Muertos, they both celebrate the thinning of the veil, which many people said, between the worlds, honoring those that are transitioning from womb to womb. So what we're doing is that we didn't realize that they were actually speaking with them, helping them while they're transitioning, because it's not helping them because they're gone and they're never coming back, because they are coming back. So they emphasized gratitude and guidance while joyfully welcoming spirits to communicate during their transition. So they will communicate during their transition. So over time, both traditions were blended with Catholic influences, diluting some of their indigenous spiritual roots. Yet both remain strong cultural wisdom, knowing the veil between the physical world and spiritual world thins, allowing spirits to interact with the living. And many of us are feeling that. So the next one was Pomona. After the Romans influenced the Celtic in the 1st century CE, they combined Samhain with their own festivals, including the celebration of Pomona, the goddess of fruits and trees. And specifically, again, it's about harvest time, which is a direct association with leaving the visible, right? Harvest, the sun dies on the cross. In the springtime, all the trees go to sleep. This association with apples have influenced Halloween customs such as apple bobbing or candy apples, which diluted the spiritual significance, which was more about Scorpio and eating an apple from the Garden of Temptations, right? So we lose our way in some of these traditions. The next one we're talking about in the 3rd century BCE to 1st century CE was the Hungry Ghost Festival. This is for the Chinese. This festival honors ancestors and pacifies restless spirits with offerings and prayer. So the restless spirits, they're between wombs, right? So rooted in Taoist and Buddhist beliefs, it recognizes the thin veil between worlds and revers familial spirits. Commercialization and modern interpretations of ghosts diluted its original sacred intent. So in the Christian Celtic regions, All Saints merged with Samhain. As Christianity spread, it absorbed Samhain's reverence for the dead, morphing it with the All Saints tradition. This blending aimed to ease the transition for pagans by respecting their customs with a Christian framework. So they're trying to pull it away, right? Kind of slowly pull it away. The spiritual roots of both were softened, focusing more on saints and prayers than spirit connection. So saints, in other words, that's it. That saint's gone, never going to come back. It's over. That's it. Your life, get back to work, pay your taxes, right? This is about the time when astrology started to really lose its grip, because this is the 5th to 7th CE. Because every century that goes by, the precession of the equinoxes changes, and now the astrologers, they're losing their touch with using a flawed ephemeris. Don't forget, they didn't have computers. They had a book to go by. And that ephemeris, if it was made 3 centuries before, 5 centuries before, whatever, it's not going to take the precession of the equinoxes. And now they could not accurately predict major changes in the journey. And hence medical astrology was losing traction to eventually submit to placebo pharmacy, who used the correct astrology. Remember, ephemeris is to track Eris. The word ephemeris, that tracks the stars, is to track Eris and her phoenix risings with the sun. The All Saints, well, that was the merging of the All Hallows. So All Saints, the Christian influence, All Saints and All Hallows Eve. There's Eve again, right? All Saints Day and All Hallows Eve were intended to honor saints and martyrs as well as ancestral spirits. This commemoration aimed to maintain reverence for the dead with a religious context. Secular and folk traditions diluted the solemnity, leading to the playful atmosphere of Halloween. Now they're trying to get towards commercialization, right? Meanwhile, in Cambodia in the 9th century, Chomben honors ancestors with offerings and prayers embodying respect and remembrance. This deeply spiritual festival aligns with Buddhist principles and Cambodia's ancestral traditions. While still respected, modern times has lessened the communal involvement, shifting focus on the spiritual. Don't forget, a lot of the modern Buddhists today don't even believe in the soul. They don't believe in reincarnation. Go check it out. Some of the ones that are getting the millions of views. Go ask AI, does that guy believe in this, there's a soul? No. Just so you know, it's not judging. We've all gone down that road. We've lost our way because the connection was gone, but now connection is back. It's that simple. Irish and Scottish traditions. Early Halloween customs in Ireland and Scotland included costumes, pranks, turnip carvings, rooted in protection oneself from spirits, not understanding karma. You can't protect yourself from a spirit because it's you. It comes from the inside. These customs gradually became more about community fun. The seriousness of connecting with spirits faded, and these traditions turned into simple amusements. That was about the 16th century. Moving on to the 19th century, North American influence. Irish immigrants brought Halloween traditions like turnip carving, which evolved into pumpkin carving. North America transformed these customs into community events, blending with regional autumn festivities. So, the harvest season. The practical roots were diluted, shifting towards celebrations and gatherings rather than spirit connection. Early 20th century, Halloween saw the rise of trick-or-treating and costume making in American neighborhoods. Originally a night of mild mischief, it became a formalized tradition of fun for children. The spooky essence softened, favoring kid-friendly festivities and family-oriented activities. Well, I guess it's okay for the kids to understand the dead, but the way they go about doing it and the scariness and all that, it's not right. It really isn't. Making it lighthearted about leaving the visible and coming back is okay. Mid-20th century, Halloween, mid-century popularity saw costumes, parties, trick-or-treating become national traditions. It evolved from community gatherings to large commercial productions with costumes and candy. Commercialization diluted its root, turning Halloween into an industry centered around profit. Way to go, right? There's the banks and profit. Yeah, let's make money. There's a lot of spirit and money, right? And then modern global Halloween. Today's Halloween celebrates costumes, decorations, and trick-or-treating, often blending Dia de los Muertos influences. Thank you for bringing that up, Alfredo. It's a global celebration that combines mystical, spooky, and festive elements for all ages. The original reverence for the spirit world has largely faded, leaving a focus on entertainment and socializing. So it's time for change, folks. We're up on that change right now. And time to remember who we really are and get back to studying Samhain, or Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. So it's about connecting with loved ones in your highest self, aka the divine feminine love within. This connection does get stronger, but with the dilution of it all, the tropical zodiac not following the main connection when the sun is opposite Alcyone of the Pleiades, where our ear to the spirit world is at peak, right? So it's at peak. We'll talk about this in a second. Only a couple more slides and we're done, folks. So here's the two zodiacs, tropical and sidereal Lahiri. The inside is sidereal. Okay, how will you know right away? Well, because you know that Eris is hanging around 0° Aries, which is the rise of the Phoenix. The sun is in Libra today. They have it in Scorpio. That's why we're celebrating Halloween, because they're off by 23 degrees. 2,000 years ago, it would have been correct. But we've shifted. If we don't follow the shift, we never know when we're going to wake. I mean, we'll just wake anyway. But the beautiful part is when the sky matches our feelings, then we know we're special. And that's what this is all about. So we spoke about this last year. I won't get into it. If you wanted to go watch that one, week 3, November 8th, camera's ready. We'll get more into discussion as we get closer to this year's Samhain, because there is important alignments surrounding this one. There are some really important alignments. I'll just talk about them briefly right here. So this year's Samhain will occur on November 21st. And as you can see, actually in the sky, the sun is in Scorpio. All right. So on November 21st, the sun moves actually into Scorpio. Right. And even when consensus says it's related to leaving the visible from the stinger of the scorpion, so that they know that the thinning of the veil, they still say it's to do with Scorpio. So they're hanging on to this ritual. They're hanging on to it. They're just not following it in the sky. All right. So they're right in all aspects, but they're just off in timing. So let's look at these energetic cuts. So Samhain is when the sun is in the beginning portion of Scorpio and is exactly opposite Alcyone. That's the Pleiades, that's the ear, that's when we can hear more, right? That's when we get that connection with spirit more. Alcyone is the seven sisters, right? So that time when the sun is in Scorpio, Alcyone, which is just above in Taurus, right? That is the connection day. That's when the veil, the thinnest, is going to be. It's going to come right through your ear or out through your ear, however you want to look at it. But look at these alignments. This is the symbol for Lilith, Black Moon Lilith. Okay? She's the one that's the trickster. She's the one that's the one that tempts you. She's temptations versus gift. Sarah is the harvester, is now 90 degrees from the harvest location. So you got these two on the cusp. So that's energetically very wild, folks. Mother Mary still near the cusp, and so is Hygeia for a Kundalini cleanses. And Uranus now gets back onto the Aries and Taurus, to which a brother just reached out and he realized that, and he has his North Node right here. And this between Aries and Taurus is where the Het sits on the Atlas bone. Uranus is Atlas, that which holds up the sky, which holds up the womb. That's going to be at 0. Mother Mary's at 0. Sarah's is at 0. Lilith is at 0. And this is Samhain. So people are going to, not everybody, but a lot of people are going to really feel that beautiful interconnection. And this is what Samhain's about. So when we realize that these dizzy spells, these communications, you're not going crazy, because that's what people would think for the last couple, 300-400 years. I must be going crazy. Because if you went and told this to somebody, because they're not telling you what's in the sky no more because they lost their way. Now nobody's able to say, well, no, you're not crazy. It's in this alignment. Greet it with gratitude. You're being communicated to. It's all beautiful. That's why we need to tell this. It's not about who's being right. It's about connecting. Let's get the connection correct. You got to look to the sky. You cannot not look to the sky. You can't be off by 23 degrees and then tell somebody why they're feeling the way they're feeling. En masse, especially. When it's going to be en masse, because it's going to be more and more en masse. So folks, Mama Mary, Isis, the divine feminine, pure love, whatever you want to call her, she's back. And she's radiating from the inside out. That's why you got the Black Witch. Because it's pure love. It's the lady you can't see. So when we start cleansing and hearing all these voices, we're thinking they're evil spirits. No, it's not. It's you. You're talking to you. You're giving yourself guidance. So resistance is what keeps us riding waves. Let your inner love shine. It's time. And that's all we have for today.